What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy first day of school eve for some people. I know for me, it's like our ninth graders are coming back tomorrow, but not like the whole kit and caboodle. So hey, you guys coming in? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Say hi. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, please, and y'all come on in. Hershey, chocolate Mimi. Hey. Hey, lovely Nola Quake. What's up, Tan? Vintage. What's up, boo? Hey, Jay. Hey, Papo. Thank you. Creations by Sean. Hey, JB. What's up, boo? Montrez. Sending blessings to a great school year for you. Thank you, boo. I appreciate that. Ray all day. Hey, girl. Listen. Y'all didn't get y'all beyond the gates because, baby, I've been outside all weekend. Y'all see I'm using my Smurfs Fenty gloss. Thank you, Papo, for the super chat. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Mwah! Thank you. Shout out from my desk. Phil, why do you work on Sunday so much? I mean, is that your regular schedule or are you like doing overtime or something like that? Child, Phil was already over earlier we were doing our reviews. He was already in my business. Giving me a hard time over there. Y'all know how me and Phil do. I'm gonna have a great school year. Thank you, Montrez. Listen, I always try to start the regular. Oh, that's your regular schedule. I always try to start the school year off on that with that mindset. You know, I mean, life is gonna be life, and then things are gonna be happening. You just finished. Listen, I still have a couple of episodes, so but I do want to talk about it. So we might have to try to do it maybe Tuesday night. I'm not sure. And people have been asking for our Miami panel, so we're gonna definitely have to get you guys a Miami review this week. What's up, Star? A lot of people on the panel, the whether you like it or not, Miami panel, a lot of people had stuff going on this week. You know, I don't want to tell people's business, but people had a lot of stuff going on this week. So it would have been hard for us to do a panel. Y'all know I was just tired. Last week was just a lot. I literally just got done watching Miami, and I'm actually still not done. I got like maybe 10 minutes left of the Miami episode right before I went live. So but I kind of want to talk about it. So I might do a quick Miami live when I get off of here. It's really going to depend on what time we get done hanging out over here and all that good stuff. Because I got to go to bed early tonight. Y'all know. Back to the grind. Hey, Norris knows. Yes, we definitely need your Beyond the Gates review. We have a kidnapping. Listen, I have not even gotten to that episode. I know it happened because of the reviews and all that. I mean, because of the clips and stuff. Baby, listen. Can I tell y'all how far back I am for last week? Baby, I ain't even got to the slap yet. I ain't even got to the slap yet. So I'm gonna have to get those episodes and we're gonna get caught up. Yes, we gotta get in. And listen, I am terrible. I am terrible with the group chat. So we have to get in the group chat and figure it out. And matter of fact, I owe Josiah a phone call right now because we were trying to figure something out in the group chat. And Scotty was like, Josiah waiting to hear from you. And I was like, I thought I responded to JoJo. And I don't think I did. I heard the slap was everything. I've seen everybody's screenshot. I've seen clips of people talking about it. I just have not watched it for myself. Hold on. See, while I'm thinking about it, let me respond right now. Let me go to JoJo and respond right now. Oh, fam. Oh, shoot. See? All right. See, I did. Scotty got me feeling like I ain't do what I was supposed to do. Okay. What up, Cross Country Cruiser? Hey, Bama girl. Okay, so we're going to get into it. So, yeah, so just so you guys know, I know I've been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks, but I did not know my summer was going to go the way it went. And I mean, listen, life is life and life is short and I'm going to be outside. So I got behind this summer and I've had a really hard time getting caught up. But y'all know I'm going to give it to y'all. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Now I might do it late. I shouldn't say that because somebody going to drop out the sky and be like, you never finished The Wire. I didn't. What's up, Cheryl? Hey, boo. But I am going to do, anyway, so there's that. But yeah, we'll get in the group chat and figure out when we're going to give you guys a whether you like it or not panel. I may do my Miami review tonight, just depending on what time we get done talking over here. Because I don't have a lot to talk about, so we might not be here that long. If not, I'll do Miami tomorrow. Love After Lockup at some point this week. Y'all will get that, and I'm gonna have to just do all three. Heart in Houston, I'll get that too. So we're gonna get it, y'all. It's gonna happen. But with that being said, let's get into what we got going on over here. What's up, Xavier? Hey, boo. Honestly, y'all, I don't really have a lot to talk about. There really wasn't nothing. But I was like, I haven't really done a real try meet. Like, I went live yesterday from while I was waiting on my car. But, I wasn't giving y'all the full, try meeting vibe. So I was like, I got to do a real try meeting with the people because I'm ready to hear your heart. Oh, okay. All right, well, I have to get into it, honey. I have to get it done. I haven't even watched this week's episode, so. All right. So where do y'all want to start? Do y'all want to start with school since we got the whole back to school thing going? Do y'all want? Because I have a story I want to talk about on Divorce Sister returns next month. I'm gonna be caught up on Divorce Sisters by then. Because I actually watched episode 6. I just haven't done a review for it yet. And then I'll do episode. I'm gonna get caught up on Divorce Sisters. Let me say this. Divorce Sisters reviews really don't take that long because the scenes are way too long. Like, I watched that last episode. I didn't watch whatever episode 7 was. And those scenes are just way too, like, Tyler Perry really need to do better. But anyway, have you talked about that terrible no? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about, Kim. Have I talked about that terrible no? I don't know what that is. Tell me what you're talking about, baby. I haven't talked about anything yet, but I don't know what that is for me to talk about it. What's up, Miss MJ? What's going on? I'm glad you caught me too. Y'all might need to turn my air conditioner on. I am hot. It's hot. All right, so let's start with this. Let's start with this news story. Now, hold on. Let me get the timestamp because I'm gonna clip this and put it on the teacher project. So let me get the timestamp before I start talking about it. Oh, where's my paper? Yeah, it's hot. I'm gonna have to turn the air on. Tyler do better higher writing staff. It's okay. No, Kim, we got to get that. El Teddy was busy this weekend. I was busy this weekend, but I promise y'all we're gonna do Noah's Ark. Matter of fact, at this point, I'm gonna have to watch the movie again. All right, okay. I'm gonna do 11 minutes and 20 seconds. So here in my neck of the woods, it was announced. Let me read y'all this article. I'm gonna read y'all the article. Prince George's County Charter School closes days before school year. Now, I'm going to read y'all this article. Just 4 days before the start of the school year, hundreds of students with newly purchased uniforms learned that their charter school in Prince George's County, Maryland is closing. Prince George's County Public Schools confirmed that Exel Academy Public Charter School in Fort Washington, Maryland, has surrendered its charter on Thursday. Parents who gathered across the street from Exel Friday described absolute shock in learning that the school will not open its doors when the school year begins Tuesday. The well-regarded school educated almost 500 students from kindergarten through 8th grade with a focus on the International Baccalaureate program, which is academically rigorous and fosters critical thinking. My sons have been here since kindergarten, one parent said. He started here. He's in the 8th grade now. This was his last year to be with his friends, and now he has to go to a whole new school. One mom who had 3 children enrolled there from 2025 for the 2025-26 school year now worries about finding new schools, middle and elementary, by Tuesday. Very upsetting, Marquita Robinson said, my kid is very upset. She wanted to see her friends. She was excited, and now nothing. Prince George's County Public Schools released a statement saying that teachers will be transferred to other county schools. The statement goes on to state students will be assigned to their home schools and families will be given additional options that may include charter schools and neighborhood schools where seats are available. That is important, where seats are available. The Seed Excel nonprofit released a statement that contributed to the closure to a combination of things, including relocation to a new facility during financial devastation due to COVID, not reaching target enrollment, and budget changes. Public charters receive funding through state and county tax dollars, but generally do not receive separate funding for facilities. Exel was founded in 2005, making it one of the first charter schools in the county. So let's talk about this for a second. As you guys know, or you may not know, I am not a fan of charter schools. Not because I don't think that there are some great charter schools out there, because there are. But because the entire premise, in my opinion, this is my opinion, of charter schools is to totally undermine. Totally is a strong word. I don't want to say totally. But charter schools undermine what's going on in public education, right? So, first of all, when we talk about the history of charter schools and where they even came from, the idea of charter schools was really started or gained momentum, I should say, in the 1970s as an alternative to busing and to integration and the integration of public schools. So when you talk about what a charter school is, it actually, in a lot of cases, charter schools were started to circumvent integration and mandatory busing in the 1970s. So a lot of your charter schools were started in racism. So let's start there. Then we fast forward into the 1980s, 1990s, where charter schools were sort of sold as an alternative to having your child in the public school, but you don't necessarily have the money for a private school. In a lot of cases, they were funded, they were backed by they had private funding. So depending on where that funding was coming from, really dictated a lot of how the school was run. A lot of charter schools are not, I think most, I'm not going to say all because I can't say all, but most charter schools are not unionized. And they force teachers to work longer hours, to do a lot of things that, to do a lot more, right? And the biggest issue I have with charter schools is that charter schools get to pick and choose their population, yet they are held to the same standard as a private school. I mean, as a public school. So, for example, you might have a charter school in a certain neighborhood, and when people start breaking down the numbers, they always want to compare, well, this school did this, but that school did that. But when you look at it, it's a charter school versus a public school. Well, charter schools, they can pick and choose who they want to come. And even if they accept you and you start acting a fool, guess what? They send you back to your neighborhood school, yet they keep the money that's allotted for you under the budget. They can kick you out in December and the money stays at that school, but you get kicked to your neighborhood school. A lot of teachers in charter schools are not certified. Xavier said, is it true that charter teachers don't have to take the praxis? The praxis is the exam that we as teachers have to take to get certified. That is true. A lot of charter schools do not have certified teachers. That doesn't mean that every teacher at a charter school is not certified. When I worked at a charter school, I was certified, but I also work with a whole lot of people who were not. Can teachers at least pick the school they want to go to in their district? I believe they've been They've been known this info. They knew this info. They're just now springing it on the teachers and families now. Lauren, that's a good question. So here is Prince George's County. The way Prince George's County charter schools is set up is a little bit different than in other places. So for example, in Prince George's County, the charter schools are still under the umbrella of the Board of Education. So even though they're a charter school and they're kind of off to the side, they still are under that same umbrella. So the good news for those teachers is that because of that, they're going to be placed at a school. No, they're not going to get to choose a school at this point, Lauren. They're going to be plugged in wherever they're needed. So if you're a math teacher, you're going to be plugged in wherever a math teacher is needed. If you're a social studies teacher, you are going to be plugged in wherever a social studies teacher is needed. You can always be proactive and call around to schools and say, hey, I'm a social studies teacher. I'm looking for a social studies position. I was at Excel Charter School. Do you have a position? Like if you have schools that are closer to you, that are more convenient. But honestly, no. The reality is you are going to be plugged in wherever there's a need for you as a teacher. They were saying that these teachers have already set up their classrooms. Like I spent all last week setting up my classroom and all of that. So like, think about your supplies that you just used up. Chart paper, bulletin board paper, especially elementary school and middle school teachers, they use way more supplies than I do as a high school teacher as far as setting up their classroom, because they want it to be colorful and all of these different things. I saw that lady crying on TikTok because she went to her child's school and they didn't have a rug in his kindergarten class, or the rug was ugly or whatever it was. Shakira said, I'm a charter school parent. Okay. I mean, that's great. Don't change nothing I'm saying about charter schools. Again, I'm not saying that every charter school is bad. I'm saying that the premise of charter schools is bullshit to me. And I've been on both sides of the coin. Now, if this happened at a charter school in DC, those teachers would be ass out. Those teachers would be ass out because DC's charter schools are totally separate from DC public schools. Totally separate. They have their own board that they report to and everything. So if that had happened, those teachers would be ass out. And they literally would be emailing, calling, doing whatever to try and find a job. They literally would have been ass out. Now, somebody said, I think that they knew this already. Oh, no, it's okay, Shakira, because again, I know that Shakira said, sorry, I didn't finish my statement. I meant to add, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, again, I know that for a lot of parents, I have friends who had their friends in charter school and they love the experience. Right? But yeah, so that happened. It happened. What happened, Melly? Tell me, boo, because I know you're local. When I worked at a charter school, our charter school closed. Now, we knew we were in trouble. We knew that we had been put on probation and we had to meet certain targets. And if those targets weren't met, then the school had to close. So we didn't meet those targets. Now, we knew that was our last year. Like, we had a whole school year. And I actually found a job in November. And I remember like somebody asking me, why are you leaving so soon? And I was like, why was I supposed to wait? Literally, the school is closing at the end of the year. I mean, I didn't know that a job would come through in November, but I certainly was looking for a job. Like, was I supposed to wait until May to look for a job? Child, not I, said the cat. They closed Excel Academy the weekend before school started in DC, and all the teachers were out of job. Oh, thank you, Melly. You said that that did happen. Yeah, because again, DC's charter school, like they have their own charter board. It's called OSSI, the Office of the State Superintendent, whatever, the Office of something state superintendent. So they have their own board that they have to report to. So I know those teachers will absolutely have been asked out. There's nobody was going to place those teachers. So, oh, you're at a charter? Oh, okay, Melly, you're at a charter. Okay. What it KIPP charter schools all over Houston. They're separate from, they're all over the country. KIPP is all over the country. And let me tell you something about KIPP. Again, y'all, KIPP schools are great for students who fall in that middle range, right? Let me say this, my experience with KIPP, and this is when I worked as a special education advocate. My experience with KIPP is that we was always suing KIPP because KIPP was always violating students with special needs. KIPP did not want to deal with students with IEPs. They did not want to deal with behavior issues. They did not. I remember there was a student at a KIPP school that I was working with, and that student was a little person. Student was in like the 8th grade, but was a little person. And part of the accommodations that they needed, public and charter schools answer to OSSI and DC. Right, but they have but isn't there a charter board? Maybe I had the wrong, maybe OSSI is the wrong name. But doesn't the DC charter schools have a charter board that they, well, let me say this. I know there is. I must have just said the wrong thing. OSSI is the wrong thing. But I know there's a charter board. Because again, when I worked at the charter school and they shut the school down, I was working in, I know there's a charter board. Because they have a separate people on their board and all of that, separate from the DC school board. Yeah, but OSSI is over everything. Right. Okay, my bad. I said it wrong. Thank you. Okay, Melly said it is the public charter board. Okay, I said the wrong thing, y'all. It's not OSSI, it's the public charter board. Thank you. But when I was, like I said, we had to sue KIPP all the time, and there was, like I said, it was a student who was a little person, and the student was like in the 8th grade, but probably needed furniture for like maybe a 1st or 2nd grader. Do you know that they would not provide the proper furniture for this student? Like literally, I was at a school that was K through 8, and I'm like, literally, all y'all have to do is go downstairs and get a desk from a 1st grade classroom or a 2nd grade classroom for this student. Why won't you do it? It's like, and then there was a situation with the student, that same student having to go to the bathroom. And the teacher wouldn't let that child go to the bathroom. And do you know, because they were like, well, they're only allowed to go to the bathroom during this time and that time. And we were like, but this child needs accommodations. Like when she has to go to the bathroom, she has to go to the bathroom. You know, that child ended up peeing on herself in school. Because the teacher, like, KIPP, baby, KIPP was a mess. And again, KIPP is probably a great experience for some people, but it's not for every child. That's my experience. And that's why when people talk about Ron Clark Academy, I'm not saying that the Ron Clark Academy isn't doing great things for those kids. What I'm saying is that the Ron Clark Academy, they get to pick and choose what students they want to help. And that is the problem. We call KIPP kids in a prison program. Ooh. When you get to pick and choose your students, you don't get to compare your data to my data when I have to take every child that's in the neighborhood. You don't get to compare your data to my data. Sorry, not sorry. I remember there was a school up in, I think it was Chicago. It was an all-boys school, black, of course, predominantly black charter. And they were like, every year they talk about how they have a 100% acceptance rate into college. I hate to tell y'all, but that's not impressive. Let me tell you why that's not impressive. 2 reasons why that's not impressive. Reason number 1, what is your articulation? So how many 9th graders did you start with versus how many 9th graders are you graduating? If you started with 300 9th graders, but by the time they get to 12th grade, it's only 150, that That doesn't impress me, because where did those other 150 kids go? Did you put them out? Were they retained? Where's the rest of the cohort? And then you say to me, well, we got all 150 kids into college. Again, no disrespect, but that's not impressive. Do you know it's really not hard to get into college these days? It really isn't. Now, I'm not talking about the Harvards of the world. I'm talking about college. If you want to get into college, you can get into college. What I want to see is how many of your kids graduated from college. Come back to me in 4 years and tell me how many of those 150 kids graduated. Because again, you're picking and choosing your students and you're cherry picking your data. See what I'm saying? Right, Melly, they kick him out. Kathy says, hey, Really B, I'm usually in the bushes, but I heard you mention Kip and I had to speak. I just left Kip Philly. I left mainly because of the offense against special ed students. You are so right. That's my experience. Thank you, Kathy, for dropping down. You can drop down more often, girl. Come on down. Join the party. Charter schools in DC were doing better than public schools until they weren't able to kick them out or suspend them. Now they do worse. I know people whose sons were pushed out of that school. I'm telling again, for the kids who do well, kudos. I don't want to make it seem like there aren't kids that don't excel in these different programs. The problem, though, is what about the rest of those kids? And then what happens is, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to move off my soapbox. But the other thing that ends up happening is then you're taking money away from the public school in that same district to give, because charter schools also get public funds. So that money that could be going into that neighborhood high school to make the neighborhood high school or school, elementary, middle school, whatever, to make it overall a better school, put the funding in, build new schools, hire more teachers, reduce the class size, put more resources. No, what we choose to do is just have a whole nother school that takes some of those resources and takes some of our best and brightest kids. Anyway. Hey, what's up? Kiss my cheeks. Hey, boo. Kia from DC said, my babies go to KIPP DC, but I can see both sides of the argument. I used to teach in PG and went to private school in Montgomery County when I went to school. Yeah. I went to private school too. I went to Catholic school in PG County. So again, I've been on all sides of this coin. And again, I'm not saying that there aren't good experiences. There's some great teachers at charter schools. Let's be clear. There are some great students at charter schools. I had some great kids when I worked at the charter school. I met some great administrators and teachers when I worked at the charter school. My problem is the system, not the people in it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I do appreciate you telling folks about charter schools and data collection, because when you see stats, you always should know what was collected. Yeah, true that. Given the location of that school in Inglewood, the fact that young men graduated was a major accomplishment. Going to college was a bonus. I understand what you're saying about funding, though. Listen, again, I don't want to take away the accomplishment. What I'm talking about is that people make it seem like this school is doing so much better than the public school, and they use this data to prove their point. That's all I'm saying. I think any child that accomplishes anything is an accomplishment. I'm gonna say this story and then I really am gonna move on. I remember I taught at a middle school when I first started teaching in DC public schools. Oh, I know you are, boo. I know you are. I know you are, Kia. I know you are. When I first started teaching in DC public schools, like I said, when I first started teaching, it was a middle school. It was in Southwest, well, it was junior high school at the time. It was in Southwest DC. And we had an 8th grade graduation. And I remember those parents acted a fool at that 8th grade graduation. I remember they showed up with balloons and they rented limos and they had auntie, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, all of them was there. And they wore their Sunday best. Do you hear me? They showed up and showed out. And I remember talking to it. And again, this is why having old school teachers are important too. Let me tell you something. If you're a new teacher in the building, find you an old school teacher that's been there for a minute. They'll hip you. But I remember talking to one of the other teachers in my department who was an older teacher who had been there for a while. And I remember saying, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. It's just 8th grade. I mean, no, it was 9th grade. It's just 9th grade. It's just 9th grade. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. This is just 9th grade. And I remember that teacher saying to me, she said, for some of these kids, this is the last graduation they're going to have. She said, for some of these parents, they never made it this far. And you know how you have a moment where all you can do is shut up? I was like, oh. And the longer I worked at that school, the more I understood. And let's be clear, that was one of the better junior high schools in DC at the time. It was like the number 2 ranked junior high school at the time. However, we also had the neighborhood kids. And at the time, Southwest, that neighborhood, whew. So we had the top of the top of the top that came into that applied to come to our school because we had such a great academic program. But then we had the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So. But anyway, y'all, we're going to move it right along. But thank y'all. And again, I don't want anybody who, and I know none of y'all did. But I just want to say this for people who watching this in the replay or anything like that. I don't want anybody to think that I am coming down on a parent's decision to put their child in a charter school. I don't know everybody's reasoning for why they do what they do and the decisions that they make. What I want y'all to understand is I'm talking about the system. And I'm all about, if you can make the system work for you, do it. I'm all about that. So you find a charter school and it works for you and it's going to help you get the resources that you need for your children and you feel like your children are getting a great education, baby, use the system. But I'm talking about the system as a whole. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's move right along. Hold on, because I'm going to clip this. So let me time stamp it. We'll be ending. 34. Okay. All right, moving right along. Having seasoned teachers around to help new teachers is very important. It's like having seasoned nurses helping mentor new nurses. Plus, you learn some tips and tricks. And let me tell you something. And I had some of the best teachers around me. That was one of the things that Michelle Reed, and y'all know how I feel about Michelle Reed. If you watch the Teacher Project 2.0, now if y'all want more education conversations like this, y'all need to be subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0. Me and El Teddy had these types of conversations all the time. So if you're enjoying this and you are not subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0, I don't know what you're waiting for. Can one of my mods drop the link in the chat, please, so that everybody that wants to get up on the Teacher Project 2.0 and have some more of these conversations, they can get it over there. If you could, please, and thank you. But this is what we do over there. But let me tell you something. Before Michelle Reed came into the school system and totally gutted it, there was some great institutional knowledge within the school with older teachers. There you go. Thank you, Tracy and Don. There it is. Y'all get over there and get subscribed, child. And go watch a couple of the old videos, child. We need to thank you, Xavier, baby. We need to watch time hours, okay? This celebration system at 8th grade level was my experience with my eldest child at high school graduation. Over 80% of them were nowhere to be found. And that, listen, it wasn't, and that's one of those differences between me going to private school my whole life. I went to Catholic school my whole life versus public school. Those were things I had to learn once I got in the public school system and I saw it, right? But moving right along. Let's get into it. So next, I told you I have a lot on my list, but let's see what's next. Let's get into some TV talk. Now, listen, we talked a little bit about this on yesterday, but let's get into a little bit more of it. Baby K. Michelle, I believe, is already cutting up down to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, Pinky Cole has been spotted, so I think that those two rumors have been confirmed. Okay, Kelly was opening up her restaurant It was filmed for the show, and both Pinky Cole and K Michelle were there. So I think we can confirm the rumors that at the very least, those two women are filming. At the very least, those two women are filming. Now, again, I can't speak to whether they're peach holders or friends of, but at the very least, we know they're filming. Now, K Michelle, rumor, K Michelle walked out of the first group scene. And I don't know if that was at Kelly's event or not. But then she went on and posted some of these things on her Instagram. Now, listen. I'm sorry, y'all. K Michelle said the following. She posted a series of little texts on her Instagram, and she said the following. She said, okay, nice girl has exited the building, and then she said bimbo. Now, I don't know who she calling the bimbo. Put in the chat who y'all think she calling the bimbo. Do y'all think it's Portia? Do y'all think it's Kelly? Do y'all think it's Shamia? Do y'all think it's, hell, who else is there? Is Cynthia coming back as a friend of Phaedra? So the people we know for sure is Phaedra, Portia, Kelly, and Shamia, right? Those, oh, and Angela. Those are the 5 we know for sure, right? Not sure. I heard a rumor that Cynthia wasn't asked back, but I can't believe that Cynthia wasn't asked back. Cynthia had a great season as a friend of. I can't believe that Cynthia wasn't asked to come back as a friend of. Rumor is that Sheree is coming back. Child, I don't want no parts of that. And let me explain something to somebody. Somebody left a comment. Y'all know, I know I shouldn't address the comments, but I can't help myself. Oh, Drew, thank you. Yeah, Drew's coming. Yeah, Drew was filming. We saw Drew. So Drew is definitely coming back. We saw Drew already started filming. They said that, child, Drew's coming back. Y'all know I just got to remember all these people. She only follows Shamia and Portia. Who, Kelly? Oh, okay. Cynthia was at the event. Okay, I thought Cynthia was coming back. So anyway, but let me say this, y'all. Somebody said, Sheree, why do you keep saying Sheree got fired? Sheree was asked to come back, but they didn't want to pay her. Why do y'all get so nitpicky? I mean, I guess this was a Sheree fan. Why do y'all get so nitpicky? If first of all, I don't think that that's true, but I don't know that to be a fact. I don't think that that's true. But the reality of the situation is, if Bravo offered her a contract and she said, no, I would like more money, and Bravo did not choose to give her more money, the end result is the same, right? Because I bet you, I promise you, I put money on this. I bet you she didn't get that amount of money when she came back the second and the third time. I bet you she didn't. I bet you she didn't. Y'all be doing the most sometimes. Talking about, why do you keep saying she got fired? Because she did. And even if, let's just say by some stretch of the imagination, even if she didn't get fired the first time, she got fired the second and the third time. Y'all be doing a lot. Anyway, moving right along. Not Sheree works for the Bravo temp agency. She's an OG. She can ask for more. She can ask for whatever she wants. I ain't mad at her for negotiating a higher price. I'm saying that if she chose not to accept the higher price and she walked away and Bravo chose not to give her the higher price, the end result is the same. Her ass wasn't there. Like, y'all be making a big deal about stuff that I don't think is a big deal. And maybe it's a big deal to y'all. I don't know. But again, if she didn't come back, doesn't matter whether she was fired or she quit, she wasn't there. And she has been in the revolving door of Atlanta Housewives. Has there been any other housewife that has left and come back as many times as Sheree? Tell me. I don't know. I know that we've had housewives leave and come back. It happens all the time. But I think Sheree has to be on the leaderboard. Who's left and come back more times than Sheree? Tell me. Anyway. Moving right along. My pride will not allow me to keep coming back to the show like Sheree after being fired. Ciao. You know these women ain't got no pride when they come to paying these bills, honey. Moving right along. So let me finish telling y'all what K. Michelle said. So then K. Michelle said, bimbos are the loudest and most confident. Shut your face. I don't know who she calling a bimbo. But y'all already know how K. Michelle works. She going to have a song by the time the season open up. She going to have a song called Bimbo. Then she said, I am my own person. I'll sit there and smile and clock it. I'm not with none of that bullshit. Then her last tweet said, activated. Now, for those of you that do not know K. Michelle, and I'm talking about vintage K. Michelle. I'm talking about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Don't go to the Love and Hip Hop LA when she went out to Hollywood. No. Don't go to when she was on Marriage Boot Camp. No. Maybe her spinoff, you might want to go back and watch her spinoff. But baby, if you really don't understand why those of us, put a 1 in the chat. If you are excited about K. Michelle, whether you love her or hate her, but you know it's going to be some good TV, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't understand why we are not excited about season 17 K. Michelle, please go back and watch Love and Hip Hop when K. Michelle was on there. You don't even have to do nothing but watch 1 or 2 episodes, and I think you'll understand. And I do think that she's going to be a more mature version, but I also think she's going to give... K. Michelle knows how to give good TV, y'all. K. Michelle knows how to give good TV. Whether you love her or you hate her, it is entertainment. And if they have only filmed 1 group scene and K. Michelle has already been activated, anyway. She said, right, that Jocelyn looks like she sleeps on beds without sheets. Listen. And K. Michelle's got those one-liners. K. Michelle knows how to read. Baby, it's... Okay. Thank you, Tan. Thank you. So, it is definitely going to be entertainment. Okay? Hold on, y'all. Okay. She definitely shook the table. So I'm here for it. All right. So that's my Real Housewives of Atlanta conversation. We already talked about Kiki last week. We talked about Kiki on Real Housewives of Miami. Real Housewives of Potomac. Now they say that Kiki done unfollow Stacey and Wendy. Now remember, the ladies I think are done filming. I know they were going on their final trip, but Giselle was dropping her girls off at college last week. I think they're done. And if they're not done, they're almost done. They're damn near done. But I think they're done. So it's interesting that Kiki has, I mean, that, you know, when I say Kiki, I know I'm talking about Kieran or whatever her name is, Kiana, whatever. She unfollowed Wendy, and we know her and Wendy were like friends, like they were cool. And I think that's how she came on the show, was through Wendy. And Stacey, from my understanding, Stacey has had a rough season. They are icing Stacey out. Stacey, now that, you know, the Grand Dame is not there for them to focus on, now that Mia is not there, baby, Stacey is getting it. Stacey is getting all of it, from my understanding. And I told y'all this tea before, and I'm gonna say it again because some of y'all, almost 200 of y'all in here, so y'all might not have heard this tea before. But I told y'all this tea. I think I did it over on my my other channel, but I'm gonna give it to y'all over here. For those of y'all who I'm gonna work the word bimbo back into my daily bread. Right, Universal Goddess, because who even uses the word bimbo? Like, the fact that K. Michelle even used the word bimbo lets you already know what time she on. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all this tea that I have. I don't know if I told y'all before, but y'all might not have listened, so I'm gonna tell y'all again. Hey Chuck, hey boo, y'all ready for the tea? Let me get to my mic. Can y'all hear me? Is this thing on? I was told that Stacey was having such a rough season that production asked Stacey to bring some of her friends in real life to come and film with her. I'm going to say that again one more time for the people in the back. I'm going to say it one more time. I was told that Stacey was having such a rough season and being iced out that production asked her to bring some of her real friends on to film. Now that's part one. Part two of the tea is, here's part two of the tea. And I'm not going to confirm the name, so y'all can put the name in the chat all y'all want, but I will not be confirming a name. But part two of the tea is one of the friends that she allegedly brought onto the show to film with. And I know for a fact she filmed with this person. I just don't know for a fact whether production is going to keep it in the show. So let me say that I know for a fact that she filmed with this person. I just don't know if editing is going to keep it in the show. So let me say that, because don't come back to me later and be like, really, we ain't even see that, you lying. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. Allegedly, I gotta say allegedly, one of the friends that she brought on to film with was on Love and Marriage DC. Now, you can drop names in the chat all you want. I will not confirm the name of who that person is. Y'all just gonna have to wait and see. Y'all are just gonna have to wait and see. I'm not confirming the name, but I know for a fact that Stacey filmed with somebody from Love and Marriage DC. Now, I can't confirm whether it's gonna stay on the show. And I know that this person filmed at least 2 scenes. Now, I'm telling you what I heard. I mean, what I know and not what I heard. I know. You know. Okay. The other Potomac tea that I have for y'all is, it is my understanding that even though the Grand Dame is not there, which I thought Karen would be out by now. I honestly thought Karen would have been out by now because I think she had how many months? I forgot how many months she was sentenced to, but I thought she'd be out by now. But she'll probably be out in a couple of months. But on her birthday, some of the ladies actually had a birthday party for Karen. Like they went out to eat and they were like, "Oh, she can't be here, but we're going to celebrate Karen's birthday." Oh, that's right. She was sentenced to 1 year, but had she taken the plea deal, she would have been out by now. That's what it was. Had she taken the plea deal, she would have been out by now. That's what it was. Okay. I knew it was something. So yeah, honey. So even though Kern is not on the season, she absolutely was mentioned. Her name was brought up. Now, I want to say this. Even though they're done filming probably in the next couple of weeks, if Karen does get released in November, do y'all think they'll film it? Do you think that they'll have cameras? Do you think they'll find a way to include it on the season? What y'all think? You think they'll like pick up the cameras and y'all know how they like to do? Y'all think that they'll invite Karen to come back on the show? What y'all think? Y'all think she'll be invited to come back? Yeah, the plea deal was like 60 days, and y'all know most of that would have probably been suspended. She should have took the plea deal, but that's it. I ain't going back down that road, but she should have took the plea deal. All right, my last little bit of Potomac tea, and Kempire dropped this at his show on Friday, so I can't take credit for this. Kempire dropped this tea, and y'all might already know if y'all watch Kempire regularly. Y'all might already know, but according to what Kempire dropped at his show on Friday, Robin was actually offered a friend of contract for this season. Robin was offered a friend of contract this season, and Robin turned it down. Moving right along. I'm going to be honest and say this, and I know I know that Robin doesn't have a lot of fans from that perspective, but from a financial perspective, I understand why Robin turned it down. Robin just opened up her own business. It remains to be seen whether it's going to be successful or not, but it's a franchise of like a spa situation. Robin does have the podcast Reasonably Shady. They have a major deal, so they're getting like they're endorsed. They have an endorsement. She may be getting a regular paycheck off of that. Like and depending on what they were offering her for a friend of contract, it might not have been worth the money. And I know that some of y'all are gonna be like, "What you mean?" Da, 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 da. But again, it just may not have been worth the money. Monique is back. Monique is a friend of. Monique is absolutely back this season, but she signed a friend of, and she explained that with a friend of, it's conducive to her lifestyle. She films when she wants to film. If she doesn't want to film, she doesn't film. But no, Monique is absolutely back. She's filmed. Chuck said, "I like hate watching Robin." Moving right along. And I also think Robin got to use her piece of right. And honestly, Robin might really be like, I know for some people it's hard to imagine, and I'm not talking about y'all, I'm just saying in general. But Robin might really be okay with not being on the show. You know what I mean? She may really be okay with it. So Jazzy's back in some capacity because they filmed at her wedding. So I don't know if she's full-time or what, but they were at her wedding. They filmed at her wedding. She got married. So at some capacity, she's back. Just like I think Candace is okay with not being on the show. I think Candace is absolutely okay with not being on the show. Do I think Candace will come back? I do think Candace will come back, though. I don't think she's going to, but I do think she is okay with not being on the show. Candace had her baby. Candace is doing, she's acting, she's doing other things. But I do think she would come back. I don't see Monique piling on Stacey because she knows what it's like. I think Monique is actually an ally to Stacey. If I remember correctly, I think they're actually good. They're actually good. Candace doesn't need to come back with Giselle still there. Well, I'm going to say this. I think that Giselle without Robin is a much more... it was a lot easier dealing with Giselle this season. Let me put it that way. All right. I think that was all I had for Bravo stuff. Now I'm going to say this. Oh, shit, I'm on the wrong side. Hold on. Let me say this before I forget. Okay. So I was on the wrong side, and I had to put my notes over here so I don't forget to say what I want to say. Yeah, they would definitely need to have a sit down, like her and Wendy last year, even though that was some bullshit. But okay. All right. Next show we're going to talk about is this. Now, I did a short last week. If y'all didn't catch my short over on my other channel and on my TikTok, I did a short last week about Renee Graziano saying that Mob Wives may be coming back. Now, I didn't get into all the details of what Renee said. In my short, I kept it real light, but let me give y'all the breakdown of what Renee Graziano said. Renee, y'all know Renee's sister was the executive producer of the original Mob Wives, right? That y'all do know that. For those who don't know, Renee's sister, her real life sister, was the executive producer of Mob Wives. Okay. So Renee was on her TikTok, and what she said was that her sister is in talks with VH1 to bring the show back. She said that they have not confirmed, like VH1 or MTV, whoever, I mean, it's the same company, Viacom, but they have not committed yet. They have not made a commitment to say absolutely yes, but they are in serious negotiations to bring the show back. Now, what Renee also said was, if VH1 passes, there are 2 other networks that are in line that are interested. And somebody in the chat was like, are these major networks or are these like little streaming platforms? And Renee said, no, these are major networks. So I did a little short on it, like, is Mob Wives coming back? Yada, yada, yada. And you're right. It won't be the same without Big Ange and all of that. But today, well, it wasn't today, but earlier, I think this happened on Friday. Let me read y'all a tweet, and I ain't gonna tell you who it's. Well, once I read it, you'll know who it's from. But it says, this is coming from somebody. I'm gonna read it to y'all first. I'd like to make a Actually, I'm gonna tell you who it is. Damn it, it's Drita. Drita posted this on her Instagram. Drita said, I'd like to make a public service announcement. I am officially single. Details will be in my book. My scripted series of my life story is happening. I'll be back on your TV screens on a reality TV show airing and filming another one. I'm throwing a singles party to celebrate. You are all invited. There's a lot to be thankful for. Excited to step into the next chapter of my life. Now you know why I've been gone so long. Now, Drita used to be on TikTok a lot, and then she kind of stopped doing, but she used to be on TikTok. Her daughter would show up from time to time or whatever. But yeah, Drita said her and Lee are officially, she said she is officially single. Oh, she divorced. Oh, this is her second husband. Okay. Well, whatever it is, she's saying she's single. She said that they're doing a scripted, somebody's doing a scripted series of her, a scripted of her life. And she said that she will be back on reality TV. She said she has already filmed one show, which might be the House of Villains. And she said she isn't going to be filming another one. So was Drita dropping a hint at coming back to Mob Wives as well? Because let's be clear, if there's no Drita, they can just let that shit go. I don't know if I love Renee, but because of her sobriety journey, I don't know if Renee needs to be on the show. I wouldn't mind Renee as a friend of type capacity, but I just don't want Renee to get caught up and put her sobriety in jeopardy. Is Sammy the Bull's daughter coming back? I could see her. Karen done been on every reality show because they've done like Mob Families and like they've done a couple of shows and Karen been on all of them. So yeah, I could see Karen doing it. I could definitely see Karen coming back and doing a reality show. I could see her doing it. Yeah, so somebody's saying that it's not Lee. She married somebody else. But either way, she's single now, child. Whoever it was, she's single. So I don't know, y'all. We got Renee. Now we got Drita. All we got to do is wait to hear from Kern. We'll see. Karen scared me. Hell, Drita scared me. But I loved her. But Drita is the one. I still remember when Karen and Drita got into that fight at that club on that balcony. Baby, that thing was real. That thing was real. If they give Victoria Gotti, not Victoria Gotti. Yeah, I think her and Lee broke up a while ago. I might have to go back and rewatch the seasons, child. All right, so that's what I have on that. Now, let's head over to Big Brother for a second. Riley, come here. Riley, sir, bring your ass down to the front. For those who don't watch Big Brother, give me a minute. I got to talk to Riley. So the rumor is that Riley went down to Zay's. He called into Zay's Instagram or TikTok or whatever live. And the reason why I say allegedly is because I didn't see it for myself. I've seen it all over TikTok, people talking about it, but I haven't seen the clip for myself. So I have to say allegedly. Allegedly, Riley said they ruined my life. He is allegedly planning to sue CBS for $15 million. He said, and of course we know they canceled the press tour and all of that. He said that he feels like they edited him to be the villain. They said they cut him off at his lowest point and were feeding him to the wolves, and a meltdown that has viewers laughing. I'm just reading this. And at the irony of a reality show suing for defamation over footage he provided himself. Riley, come here. Come here. Come here. For those who do not watch Big Brother and you don't understand the concept, let me break down the concept of Big Brother so you'll understand how utterly ridiculous this is that he just said. Big Brother is a social experiment where they take 18 strangers, put them in a house with absolutely nothing. They don't have television. They don't have radio. They don't have, they if you went and had a household, you get music. But very limited music. They're only allowed to bring in their religious books, if you're the Bible, the Quran, whatever, and that is it, and that is all. Okay. And you're forced to get to know these people, talk to them, yada, yada, yada. Now, here is the trick. There are like 100 and something cameras all over the house. Everything is filmed. They even have cameras in the bathroom, right? Now, again, they don't have bathrooms in the stalls, but you have to literally be dressed when you come out of the stall because there are cameras there. There are live feeds that go on most hours of the day. Most hours of the day. Most hours of the day, there are live feeds in every room, in every nook and cranny. That's why people whisper so much on Big Brother, because they know that they are being filmed at all times. So, for those of you who don't understand the concept of Big Brother, now you might understand why this is so ridiculous. Literally, people saw him and how he was acting on camera. His words, his actions, him. There was nothing was edited. The only thing that gets edited are the shows that we see on Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Those are edited. And even Thursday night's not edited because it's the live eviction. So Thursday night's not really edited. Sir. Now, there are some reality shows that they'll be like, listen, that was edited. I didn't really say that. It was a voiceover. You might have some cause for argument. But on Big Brother, I don't know how you can say that they did anything to you when literally all they did was turn a camera on that you knew was there. You signed all of the documents releasing CBS of your image, your voice, your likeness. I promise you, all of the documents were signed. All of the documents were signed. For you to say you are suing them for anything. Sir, it was your words. Your words. Your likeness. You signed all of that. We have literally had people on Big Brother have sex. We have had people on Big Brother use racial slurs, sexist slurs. We have had people on Big Brother threaten physical violence. We've actually had some physical violence. And ain't none of them people get to sue nothing. Explain to me why you think that what happened to you is any different and why you feel like you have a lawsuit, sir. And it was so funny because a couple of times you would hear Riley saying, oh, don't put that in. Oh, wait a minute. Cut the feed. Sir, you don't get to tell nobody to cut the feed. So I really think that he didn't fully understand the concept of 24/7. Because, I mean, there are literally times where you hear Riley saying, oh, cut that out. Oh, don't put that in. Sir, it's not a don't put that in, cut that out. That's not how this works. There's no don't put that in, cut that out. The camera is rolling. And now that you have people who are, there's literally TikTok channels where they're just playing they're live on TikTok and they're letting you listen to the live feeds while they give commentary. So even if CBS cuts a feed and says, oh shoot, we didn't want to put that in, baby, people got it. They have already clipped it on TikTok. Anyway, I just thought I'd give y'all a funny on this Sunday afternoon because, sir, really? Okay. All right. Last couple of stories, and then we're going to get out of here. We know he's a narcissist. He can't fathom being wrong, child. Now, I told y'all that we are on Sierra watch. Now, I'm not saying that Sierra is pregnant. I'm not saying she's pregnant. I'm just saying that we are on Sierra watch. Now, here is a picture of Sierra from this weekend. She got the shirt on. She with the churns. Let's look at the midsection. Okay. Here's another picture. Same event. We're looking at the midsection. Okay. All right. Now this one is from the side. It's giving like a side angle. Same event. What do we think? Okay. Now again, I'm not saying that lady is pregnant. I'm not saying that lady is pregnant. I'm just saying we are on bump watch. Okay. A lot of people saying they don't think she pregnant. Okay. Just a t-shirt. Doesn't look pregnant to me. Okay. Listen, I don't know. Well, we also on bump watch with Cardi. I'm just telling you what I heard. Now, I know Cardi cussed the people out last week and said that she was not pregnant. I know she did that. But I'm just telling you, we are on watch. We are on bump watch for Cardi. We are on baby bump watch for Sierra. Now, I'm not saying that the lady pregnant. I'm just saying we on the watch. Okay. Now, Cardi, I think, is pregnant. Ooh, Sierra said, now, Cardi? Yeah, that's a different conversation, honey. She said, now, Cardi. All right, moving right along. So listen, I told y'all yesterday that this whole redistricting situation may not work out the way the Texas people think it's going to work out. Because of course, I told y'all yesterday that when you break down the data, that when they decided to redistrict that map, what is their bloated or put on a cover? Again, they may not listen. I'm just telling you. I'm just giving y'all these are the rumors. These are the rumors that's on the street. I ain't saying these people are pregnant. I'm just bringing y'all. Listen, I just bring the gossip. Y'all, we could do it how we need to do with it. Okay. What up, Nate? Hey, boo. According to what I was reading over the weekend and listening to down to the tiki-taki over the weekend, when these people were breaking down the data, the Republicans used the data from the election, not taking into account how many of those people may or may not still be happy with Donald Trump. So when they redrew these districts, they may have gained 5, but they potentially could be losing up to 10, right? We also now have Gavin Newsom saying, oh, okay, you passed the redistricting, so now we're going to redistrict. Now you have the governor of Illinois and the governor of Maryland both threatening to redistrict their states as well to be in line with Gavin Newsom. Now, listen, I'm here for that. I'm here for these. I told y'all the other day that these blue states need to fall in line and they need to do the same thing. So I'm here for that. I told you guys, I just feel like we're on the brink of a civil war. I'm not saying that to try to scare anybody. It just seems like we're about to be state versus state right now. And it's going to be ugly. Y'all know y'all president has threatened to deploy. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road. But anyway. But I was also reading that Jasmine Crockett may also have the last laugh. Because you know that they redrew those, that the new Texas, they redrew it so that basically Jasmine Crockett's district is gone. And we were talking about that yesterday. Well, guess what? Jasmine Crockett was like, okay, cool. I'll just run in another district that I know I'll win and get the seat. It's not a problem. Because under Texas state law, you do not have to live in the district that you represent. You only have to be a Texas resident for however long you have to be a Texas resident. So it doesn't matter that they redrew the district to get rid of Jasmine Crockett's district. She can literally just run in another district that she knows she can win. So what did y'all do? Like, what did y'all really accomplish? Like, what did you really accomplish? Anyway. They're pitting two Dems against each other. Well, I don't understand. Well, listen, I don't know all the details. I'm just telling you what I was reading. So Jasmine Crockett is picking a district that already has a Democratic representative? Didn't Bobblehead Bober do that? Probably. Now, yeah, they did it for the optics. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you're saying. They did it to pit the Dems against you. Listen, I don't have nothing for the Democratic Party, so whatever they got going on is whatever they got going on. And I hate to say it like that, but the Democratic Party just... I want y'all to listen to something. So DJ Akademics, y'all know that he is named in that lawsuit between Milagros Grams and Meg Thee Stallion. He was subpoenaed to sit down for a deposition. So what he has decided to do was to go on, his Twitch or wherever he's streaming from these days and do a live reaction to his testimony. But not the full testimony, just certain clips. And I'm sure it's going to be the clips that make him look good, or at least what he thinks. Let me let y'all hear a little bit of it.
My personal opinion and my belief.
So this is DJ Akademics talking, and you hear the attorney questioning
him. I have ever been and asked.
Right, you say basically anywhere you've ever been, and as loudly and publicly as you can, correct?
Yeah, if I'm speaking my personal opinion, yeah, of course.
Okay, and just so that I'm clear, you were not present on June 12, 2020 when Miss Pete was shot, right?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't at the party, correct?
No.
You weren't in the car, right? You weren't on the street, correct?
No.
You weren't a witness at all whatsoever, right?
I was not.
So you couldn't actually say that you knew that Tory did not shoot Miss Pete because you weren't present, right?
Yeah, I'm not unequivocally saying that it didn't happen. What I'm saying is...
I'm sorry, hold on. Say it again because there was something I didn't hear clearly. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say, 100% this is the fact. I'm telling you my personal opinion and my belief. That chick is a liar, and I don't believe liars. So,
first of all, he thinks that just saying, in my opinion, it's my opinion, covers him. That's what he thinks. He thinks that just saying, in my opinion. Also, DJ Akademics, please understand. Tell me what he said, lovely Nola. Tell me what he said. Please understand that this is probably one of the most powerful law firms in the United States. I promise you they paid somebody probably good money, probably made $100 an hour as an associate or a paralegal or intern to watch every single minute of every single stream where you talked about Meg, Tory, and the incident. So if you ever said 100% unequivocally, you know it to be a fact, sir. Let's keep listening.
Her story Again, I accept the verdict. I accept all of this stuff. I don't accept a liar. Because she's a liar. She's a liar then. She's a liar now. She's going to be a liar tomorrow. And yeah, that's it.
Do you believe she perjured herself on the stand at the criminal trial?
I wouldn't know. That would be something the prosecutors would have to answer. But that, we've rarely seen.
Just personally hold and keep to yourself, right?
I've said this anywhere I have ever.
So again, there are clips like that floating all over TikTok, right? Sir, I don't know if that was a good decision. I don't know if that was the best decision for you to come down here and show us to show us this and break it down and give your own personal commentary in a case that is still ongoing. The whole issue with Meg is she's a liar, but he doesn't care about Tory or Kelsey being a liar. Right. Good. Sonny Halston said a good interviewer knows the answer before asking the question. I promise you that lady that was questioning him already knew what he had and had not said as it relates to Meg being a liar or not. I mean, Meg telling the truth or not. And like she said, that's just one clip. Y'all can find more. But like she said in another clip, so what you're saying is you know more than 12 jurors who unanimously found Tory guilty after hearing all of the evidence, not just what Meg had to say, but all of the evidence. They unanimously said he did it. And you know more than they know? Like, and he was like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, there was a lot of evidence that wasn't, like, it's like, sir, you still. And the other thing was, from my understanding, he did not bring his own attorney. He relied on the attorneys that Milagros had. The attorneys that are trying to get off the case because she ain't paid them, those attorneys. He basically shared something that was accidentally posted by the lawyers that was supposed to be for the lawyers to see. He also posted clips of his deposition. Right. And I don't know if, this is still an ongoing case. Is he supposed to be doing that? I'm wondering. Because this case has not been settled. This case is not over. I've never seen a deposition leak while the case was still going on. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've never seen it happen. Remember, this is Rock Nation. They have the best of the best attorneys. The detective said Meg told them Tory did it first time they interviewed her. They just never told the public she was cooperating because it was still under investigation. She testified honestly. He's talking about when she lied to Gayle King. Listen. Men lie on their woo-woo every day. Women lie on their ha-ha every day. Her saying she didn't sleep with Tory, which we never believed, and I told her when she said it, girl, that was a dumb lie. But her saying she never slept with Tory versus this is the hey, boo! Hey, Busy Blue! You were on my mind this weekend too, and I meant to call you. But you in the midst of were probably somewhere in a wildflower field picking sunflowers for you to roast and make poppy seed muffins with or some shit. I don't know. Y'all know Busy and his husband be all over the place. They be picking strawberries and then Busy be making fresh, cobbler and shit. Right. His corporate code switch voice is taking me out. Exactly. Right. Because that is not the DJ Akademics we are used to hearing. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, boo. Mwah. Lying to Gayle King means nothing. She told the truth in court, which is what matters. Exactly. She was protected to a Dusty, and people are still dragging her. Child. I'd rather lie to Gayle than lie on the stand. Right. Like, I don't think most people cared that she lied to Gayle King. But he was just grasping at straws because, again, he thinks that the whole it's my opinion, it's saving him. Let me see if I can find another clip.
And
But so what you're saying, Lovely Nola, is this is a clip that he got by accident that he's not supposed to be sharing? Hold on, let me see. So here's the clip of him.
A jury.
This is the clip of him actually live reviewing it himself.
I mean, that's how trials go. The verdict is usually
right. And in this case, a jury did come to a verdict, correct?
Yes, they did. They convicted him. I still.
That's right. And they came to that. They came to that conclusion unanimously, right?
Yes, and I still disagree.
Okay, but unanimity means that all 12 juror members signed on to the same verdict, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that was after those 12 juror members heard all of the evidence that was admitted in the trial, correct?
Yes.
So after hearing, just so that we're on the same page,
yeah.
After hearing all of the evidence, all 12 individual members of the jury agreed that the prosecution had proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion on June 12, 2020, right?
So I've never argued what.
Alan, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, I've never, but it's a non sequitur because I've never said.
It's not a non sequitur, Mr. Allen. It's a question.
Because
you hear him trying to use big words. It's a non sequitur, sir. And that woman was like, but it's not. It's not. But listen to how she lets him talk. You notice how she tried to cut him off with a yes or no answer, but now he's getting ready to run his mouth. And listen how she just lets him talk. That should let you know right there that what you're saying is a problem. The fact that woman is letting you just keep talking. Listen, y'all.
So starting from what I said what I believe. You're telling me what the jury did. Me and the jury are not the same people. So, for example,
understood.
Mr. Allen is acquitted of murder, but there are reasonable people who believe he did it. I don't have to accept what the jury said just because it was unanimous and they saw quote quote all of the testimony. Also, I don't even believe that. That's part of his entire appeal. You have
what's part of his entire appeal? What's part of his entire appeal?
Well, there's evidence and testimony that I think is. Let me lay this out. Megan Thee Stallion is a flat out liar, in my opinion.
What's your basis for saying that she's a flat out liar?
I've seen her say something on Gayle King, and then when it came to being questioned by the prosecutors and being on the stand, she said something different. If that's not a lie, you tell me what it is. Okay, so she was clearly intoxicated that night. I don't think that's a something we have to debate. Kelsey intoxicated that night. Okay, Tory intoxicated that night. The only person that was not intoxicated, the only person I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear from the drunk people. Hey, listen, you see this hand right here? I think my hand is broken. I was drunk. I don't know what happened. The only person that was sober that night was Jaquan, or whatever his name is, Jaquan. He's the person I want to hear. Again, from what I've seen, Tory's team, they definitely fumbled that because they should have had him testify. He didn't testify. But if I'm a person, again, I'm not saying if we didn't accept the jury's decision, we would have went to break him out of jail. And we're talking about we as a collective in terms of the people of the United States. But we accept that a jury, when they do their job, they do their job. So we accept all their decisions. Doesn't mean that we have to agree with the conclusion they came to. I just covered the Young Dolph trial. The guy just got found not guilty yesterday. Everybody who either covered the case or is from that community knows this guy is guilty. But the prosecutor did a bang-up job. That person was acquitted. So, again, no one's saying the jury didn't come to a unanimous decision, convicting him. What we're saying is, despite that, we believe that he's being held in jail. And maybe I need to define this. When I say unfairly, we don't believe, or I don't believe, that he shot this woman, as the story is presented via how the trial went down. And
what is your basis? So, what I fail to understand is, as somebody who did not sit through the trial, did not hear through all the evidence, what is your basis for your belief that he did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion, although a jury of 12 who heard all the admissible evidence disagrees with you? Okay, Dixon, Rhonda, I need you to wait until I'm done answering my question before you object, so that the court report.
Yo, Milagro, why Rock Nation's lawyers violating your lawyer like that? Yo, my lawyer got a big dog in situation. You gotta bully the scene. You gotta, yo, come on, yo. I bully the whole scene. Yo, I bully the whole scene. Yo, I bully the whole scene. As soon as I got up in this depot, like I looked up at all these lawyer names, I said, I bully the whole scene. I said, yo, oh, it's movie time. Come on.
This is him gloating.
Get it down. And number two, I'm just going to ask that you, as is customary in federal court, reserve your objections to the form only that covers every type of substance.
So the fact that he literally is playing this, the fact that that woman, and I ain't nobody's lawyer, I didn't go to nobody's law school, but the fact that she let him give that whole soliloquy, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good that she sat there and let that man give that whole soliloquy like that. And if what Lovely Nola said is accurate, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, I'm just saying he shouldn't even be playing any of this. You said Tisa Tells did a video on it. He should not be playing. I don't believe that that any of this is supposed to be public information. I just don't believe that. I don't know how he got a copy of it. I don't know how he got this clip, but I don't believe. We'll see. Hold on, let me see something. Hold on, y'all. DJ Akademics just walked into Rock Nation's trap, could face sanctions, gag order. Child. If it was public information, why are other people not playing it? Yeah, I'm gonna call Pam and ask Pam about this one because this is crazy to me. Like, I just happened to be scrolling TikTok earlier, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I thought it was maybe something old, and then I realized, no, this is from the and then I was like, "What in the world?" So, all right, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. It is 8:00. I probably won't be back tonight because I'm probably going to go to bed in about an hour and a half. So we'll be back tomorrow. And I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace. Have a good evening, you guys.